Lucas wants to know a very important question.
Yes.
Where is your vest? Johnny and I are wondering the same thing.
I'm telling you, I can't win. I know that my vests are a hot topic of discussion. Admittedly, I can't believe I'm admitting this. I think I have like 15 or 16, but I didn't wear one here today. So I'm sorry if I let anybody down. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I'll make sure maybe to incorporate one over draft weekend. Hopefully, maybe we'll see.
I grabbed mine in the closet to wear it, and I went, oh wait, not today. And then I didn't. All right. This one comes from Kevin. Nick, what'd you learn from last year's draft?
I think regardless of how many picks you may or may not have, it's just try to capitalize and just make good decisions, for the organization. And, I think we try to do that to the best of our ability. I think what's important when you're drafting players is just not to have unreasonable expectations. Try to simplify it for the player. They have enough to learn, and they have enough on their shoulders when they walk in the building. So just try to make sure that we're identifying the things that are important for us, the type of people that we want to have in the building, and just maximize our opportunities. And really, ultimately, when they come in the building, it's sort of out of our hands to a degree. It's up to the player. It's up to the staff. And I would say really a credit to the coaches last season and to the players, because I think you saw growth and development from the beginning until the end of the season, really on all 5 players. And I think they were able to capitalize on the opportunities they had in front of them. So, hopefully we can have some modicum of success here next week as well, and just continually build and continually press forward.
I mean, you've covered a lot of drafts in your time in the NFL, but this is your second draft as general manager. Does it feel a lot different than it did last year? I mean, the situation seems completely different than it was a year ago.
Yeah, it's a fair question. You try not to get too caught up in it. I think you just try to stay consistent to your process, stay consistent to the things that you feel are important. And we talked about a little bit of this in the press conference, try to have as thorough an understanding of as many players and the board as possible so that you can make good decisions. You're making decisions in real time, and you don't know when those decisions are going to take place. Once you pick a player let's just take the third pick. So, okay, there's 2 players that are going to get picked before us, whomever they are. We hopefully are going to get a decent player at pick 3. So that pool of players is, I would say, a little bit smaller than some of the other players as you move throughout the draft. So it's just being prepared, trusting your information, try not to overanalyze it and try not to overcomplicate it, and just try to stay consistent all the way through, regardless if it's pick 3 or if it's pick 243 or 205 or wherever some of those late picks are.
All right, let's get to another fan question. This is from Dominic and Ailey from over in my hood. What do you think about our running back room?
Yeah, it's an interesting combination, I would say, of kind of youth and experience. Other than really Rex, in terms of players that really made a contribution last season, a lot of those players didn't really have too many snaps, at least for the Houston Texans. So, Scotty, unfortunately, was limited last year, was injured, but, he's shown some things in the preseason. Marlon's been a productive player at different points, so he has an opportunity here in front of him. Dare's been, I'd say, a pretty consistent player in Jacksonville. He's had a good role in the kicking game. Royce, had small opportunities, limited opportunities last year, but, there's really not a whole dearth of opportunities. But I would say it's a group that they all have varying degrees of experience playing. And even Jed Anderson, who kind of came to us late in the offseason, during the season last year in the practice squad, he's made a lot of progress, I'd say, in terms of his strength and development from January till now. So it's an interesting group. I think once we get on the field a little bit, we'll start to crystallize a little bit more. So, if there's an opportunity for us to add to that group, we will. If there's not, I think we'd be able to go out there and be able to function with the group that we have here in the building.
All right, Maria wants to know, what excites you about a Pep Hamilton offense?
Yeah, I think Pep's had a lot of success through the years, being able to run the football and being able to get the quarterbacks to play well. So I think the biggest thing probably for our group is just going to be some of the terminology and just how we call plays and some of those types of things. So, but Pep's a good coach. He's a lot of experience. He's had a lot of, I would say, good experiences with the quarterback position. He really teaches that position, the details and the mechanics of it. Now to be able to project that over the entire group. But I think, we want to be able to run the football. We want to be able to play physical. So I think those are some things that we're going to try to emphasize, and it's a collective effort. It's not going to be just about the offensive line. It's not going to be about the tight ends and running backs. It's all everybody's going to be involved, even the receivers to some degree. So I think Pep's excited about the opportunity. I think the one thing you notice is just the way he works with the staff. It's really kind of cool. I mean, it's a very collaborative effort. He respects the coaches. A lot of those coaches have worked with him. He trusts them. They trust him in turn. So that carries a lot of weight. And then, when you transfer that to the players see that. So ultimately, it's about results. And offense is being able to move the football and score points. So, I mean, ultimately, that's going to be the most important thing for us.
Have you improved your mechanics on our Pep?
I haven't thrown that much in the spring.
You need to work on that.
You got OTAs coming up.
You
See you out
better
there.
get the wing loose. This is from Joey downtown. Very simply put, who are you going to draft?
Yeah. Well, it's a good question.
We got this question more than any other.
I think we probably got to
I'm
wait.
sure you're not
Joey's
surprised.
one of many asking this question.
It's a fair question. I think we'll know here, in another week or so. But I think, we have a list of players that we feel comfortable drafting at number 3. And I think, assuming we pick there, which I think there's a good chance we're going to. So just try to get, a good player that we think is going to come in here and help our team. It's not about, one player is not going to solve our problems. It's just stacking them up as we go. So, we've had an opportunity to evaluate a lot of players. We had a lot of dialogue and discussions internally with the staff, with the scouting staff, with the coaching staff. And I think we've kind of narrowed down that pool of players who we feel comfortable with. So ultimately, we're going to have to make a decision, and we'll pick a player, and then we're going to move. We're going to move forward.
All right, we're excited to see who those players might be, and we don't really have to wait too much longer. In 1 week, we'll start to know whether it's one, two, however many
it is.
On Thursday.
That's
it is.
right.
Nick Caserio, general manager for the Houston Texans. Nick, thank you so much for the time, and we really look forward to seeing what unfolds next week.
Thanks for having me. Excited about next week, and go Texans.